what you're actually seeing is it's a withdrawing of the attention and interest, which is coming back to its source. And this is the spiritual journey. All of the attention is going outward. All of the interest is going outward. The spiritual journey is then, it's like, oh, I'm interested in more aloneness and just more simplicity and just being. And this is just simply just this withdrawing of attention. Because where is that attention coming from? Well, it's coming from the true you, awareness. That's the source. So it's a return of attention back to its source. When people talk about like the spiritual journey, it's like the spiritual journey. I'm going back to the source. I want to know the source of life. I want to know my true self. I want to know God. It's saying the same thing. So the journey is the attention. The attention is out wandering. It's out lost. Caught up in this and that, all of these different activities. It's looking for happiness here in the job, looking for happiness here in the sports car, looking for happiness here in the relationship. And then it's just like there's this losing of interest in that and losing the attendance in that. And it comes back and finds happiness where it came from. That the source of that attention is happiness. That's why you can't find it out there. So it's the last place you look, because it's not out there. It's not at the job. It's not in the relationship. It's not at the movies. It's not at the sports car and vacation. It's not there. That's where you're looking. That's where you're attending. But you can't really attend yourself. But it's a withdrawing of that attention. When you're not attending the movie theater, the job, the vacation, you don't say, I'm attending my home. You just say, I'm staying home, right? It's like that.
Yeah.
It's the same. I'm staying home, which means I'm staying home because home is happiness. It's like that. You go, oh, this is why I can't find the happiness out there. It's not out there. The happiness is home. That's where the attention has left. It's left home. It's so counterintuitive to the mind. But it's these type of questions. Okay, if you are aware of the attention going out wandering, it's going to this, it's going to that. And you know that's where it's going. It's going to the job, it's going to the girlfriend, it's going to the happy meal, all these things that you can buy to be happy. You see it, it's going to all these things. I'm saying, well, I'm not asking about what it's going to. I'm asking the question you've never asked. Where did it come from? See, because you could see it where it's going. But are you seeing where it came from? So where does that attention come from? Experientially, just watch the attention. If the attention is on me, as the speaker in the whatever screen you have here, I've got the gallery view. If the attention is on a speaker at the meeting, well, where is the attention coming from? Then your first thing is, well, me. You point to the body. But isn't there attention on the body though? Yeah. Follow it back even more. Where did it come from? It's on the body. Well, where did it come from? Before it was on the body, where did it come from? Follow that attention. It's like a rubber band. One end is going to the body or the computer screen or a sound or a sight or a smell or a taste or a touch or the thought. Okay, so there's only 6 possible locations, you could say, that it can attend. Thinking, touching, tasting, smelling, hearing, seeing. You're now watching the attention go to any of those 6 locations. Now, my question is, where is it coming from? So just follow it back.
There's only an other end of the elastic band when there's tension, because there's this end and this end. But when you release the tension, there's no other end.
How do you release the tension?
Relax it, your attention.
Yeah. Do you notice how that happened by just me simply asking you the question? When I'm asking you, where did the attention come from? Notice what's happening to the attention. So the attention can go to thinking, tasting, touching, seeing, hearing, smelling. The attention is getting stretched to any of those 6 things. Now I said, well, where is that attention coming from? Right there, you're noticing the relaxation of attention. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's what that question does. Because by just simply, you're like, oh, well, yeah, it's going outward. Well, where did it come? And then the mind falls silent and it's still. And you, exactly what you said, it's correct. What you're experiencing is relaxation, meaning the absence of tension. That the attention is not going anywhere. It's simply resting in and as the source. Now, isn't that attention coming from you, the awareness? It's you, the awareness, that's watching the attention go to thinking, tasting, touching, hearing, seeing, smelling. It's you that's aware of that activity, that the attention is leaving home and going outward to these things. When I said, well, where did it come from? It's not moving anymore. It's not leaving home. And what is it that knows that it's not moving? What is it that knows that it's staying home? It's you. Now, what is this experience? It's rest. It's the absence of suffering. There's no conflict. There's no separation. There's no other. The attention was going to things, this thing, that thing, this thing, that thing. Something that appeared other, thinking other, smelling other, hearing other, tasting other, touching other, smelling other. When the attention simply just resting in its source, there's no experience of other. And it's you that knows that. So this is a unique experience. There's nothing else like it. Because the attention is simply resting in and as the subject. It's you, the awareness, that's the true subject. That this attention has been leaving the subject, so to say, and going outward to objects. Thinking is an object, tasting, hearing, seeing, smelling, touching. These are objects that the attention is attending. That's why I said the attention can't really attend you. You don't say that you're going to attend home. You are home. So the attention is just simply staying home. Home is you. And see how there's no suffering at home. See how there's no conflict at home. See how there's no other at home. See how there's no limitations at home. See how there's no lack at home. So this is the last place you would look. And you find out, well, it's actually where you've been looking from your whole life. That which you are looking for is where you're looking from. That's why you can't find it. You can't find happiness as an object because it's not an object. It's you, the subject. This happiness, this love, this peace, this freedom is what you are. We could just say that we've been looking for it in the wrong direction. And see how there's no condition for it. What do you have to do to stay home? Nothing. See how you aren't doing anything. You're just simply being yourself. Being yourself knowingly is the experience of happiness, love, peace, and freedom. It's your nature. By being aware of yourself, you're experiencing your true nature. Your true nature is happiness, love, peace, and freedom. These aren't emotions. They don't come and go. They're ever present. They're permanent. They're here now. Unconditionally. Which means they don't depend on life circumstances. Even if you're broke, you could still experience the happiness that you are. Even if you're single, you can still experience the love that you are. Even if it's noisy in the environment, you could still experience the peace that you are. Even if you're locked up in prison, you can still experience the freedom that you are. So who's got questions about this? Who's got the yeah, but questions? Yeah, but that's the doubt.
The yeah buts wouldn't dare show their faces right now for me.
If there is those thoughts, just bring them up, because that's it. It really helps to just speak the mind in that way.
Yeah, I think for me
Bring the doubt up,
I
because
think for me it's too clear right now. They'll
oh,
they'll
okay.
they'll surface in a couple days after
Yeah,
it's
well,
not fresh anymore.
that's why, I mean, that's why you just keep coming.
Yeah.
You keep coming because it's just the experientially, it just erodes that doubt, because the doubt is conceptual. The concepts can't they can't hold. There's no ground to them. Here's your direct experience. It's not conceptual. It's not a belief. So any doubt, it's like, bring it on. And then just experience it. Experience yourself. And then it's like it shuts up the mind very fast. So I think I've told you, it's like I'm like the doubt destroyer. You just have to taste yourself. You just have to taste your true nature. And you start destroying all of that doubt. because there's all these beliefs that like you have to work hard for happiness, that you have to deserve it, that it has to like, look like this. See, even your image of happiness doesn't look like what you just experienced. So much that you might even doubt what you experience as being happiness because of your idea of what happiness is. But your idea of happiness would actually be a condition. And any condition is a limitation, which means that you would be limiting the happiness that you are because you're projecting an idea of that happiness. So in a way, it's like almost playing, fetch with yourself. Here's what happiness looks like. And then you go chase it. And then you wonder why I'm so unhappy playing this game. I said, well, you're just playing the game with yourself. You're like, what? Well, yeah, like, let me just show you what the happiness. Let me show you what you're looking for. What you just experienced a minute ago, is that not what you're looking for? It is. That's the evidence. So the good news is it's ever present, it's permanent, it's unconditional. It's what you are. So you see, like there's really no obstacle. When I asked you about the attention going to these things, these objects, thinking, touching, tasting, smelling, seeing, hearing, these 6 objects. And I just said, well, just you're aware of the attention going to these things. And I just asked you, I said, well, where did it come from? When you were watching the attention come back to you, did you see it needing to hurdle or overcome some obstacle? Did you see it climb a fence?
No.
Did you see it jump something, avoid something, fight something? Did you notice any of that?
Nope.
So what you're saying is you didn't actually experience any obstacle. You didn't experience anything in the way.
No.
Yeah, nothing stands between you and the happiness because there's not two. You are the happiness. What did you have to do to stop suffering? That experience that you just had just 2 minutes ago. Were you experiencing suffering? Yes or no?
No.
And what you were experiencing was yourself? Yes or no?
Yeah.
So you were experiencing yourself that was not suffering. You were experiencing your true self, that which is free of suffering.
Yeah.
And what did you do to experience yourself that is free from suffering?
Just let go, sort of.
Yeah, I mean, at most you could say that. It's really, you didn't do anything.
Yeah, because like the unclenching of the fist is like a non-doing. It's
Yeah,
like
you
I was
didn't do anything. Yeah,
pushing the attention out of the house.
yeah. You did nothing to stop suffering. You did nothing to be happy. This is where it won't make sense to the mind. But experientially, you know what I'm showing you. You don't have the experience of doing anything. It is actually the experience of the cessation of doing. It's more about what stopped. And what did stop? Stopped leaving home. The only thing that stopped was the attention stopped leaving home, right?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't force it back home. You just saw that it comes back home on its own. I just said, where did it come from? But you don't have the experience of trying to force that thing back home. It just comes back home automatically. And then when it was simply resting at home, you being the home is you, it was resting in you. That's when you experience the happiness. And that's what I'm pointing to is actually you didn't do anything. It's effortless to stay home. It takes effort to leave home. So it's effortless to be happy. It takes effort to be unhappy. It takes effort to suffer. But to be free of suffering is effortless, and you just experience that. Did you have the experience of breaking free from something, tunneling your way out of prison?
No.
You weren't getting chased by something or someone? No, see? You're just experiencing that you've actually always been free.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to the mind, but that's where it's just come back to the experience. And when you see this experience very clearly like this, the like how we're speaking about it now, retrospect, it's like the mind is just kind of shaking his head like in like disbelief, like this is too simple, it doesn't make sense, this is not what I thought. Like It's just shocked.
Yeah.
But to make it even clearer is when you are experiencing the happiness that you are, was there the experience of mind?
No.
No. Remember, thinking is what we labeled as other. But in the experience of happiness, we didn't see any other. We weren't experiencing an object. The happiness is a subjective experience. It's not an objective experience. It's subjective because the happiness is you, the subject. Thinking is an objective experience. So now that you're seeing that the mind wasn't even present in the experience of happiness, can you confirm that? That in the experience of happiness, you didn't experience the mind?
Well, I think it was like one of the senses, like there's the six senses or whatever. And I, I don't know, maybe it felt like it was like a major zoom out from all the senses. But I
Yep.
could still see, I could still feel, I could still hear, I could still taste, I could still think. It's not like I couldn't think, but it was just it was inside. Instead of me being inside the thinking,
Yeah.
trapped in the thinking was just one thing
Yeah.
inside everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what it felt like, I think.
And the happiness that you were experiencing was beyond the thinking and
Yeah,
the seeing and the touching and the feeling and the hearing and the tasting.
yeah,
So now you're seeing where the happiness actually is.
yeah, yeah,
It's beyond all of that. It's prior to all of that,
yeah.
right? Prior to going out, prior to leaving the house, there's just happiness.
Yeah, yeah. Any finding of happiness in like the mind or whatever, or the activity, it's like it's like the removal of everything, but the me, the identification thinks like, oh, I got that happiness from that thing I did,
Yeah. No,
but it's not.
because it's prior to all activity. Because the happiness is not an activity. See, even the subtle activity of attention, attending objects, that is a subtle, it's a very subtle, it's the most subtle activity. And I'm showing you that the happiness is more subtle than that. What you are is more subtle than the most subtlest activity that you experience objectively, that you experience attention actually as an object. You're experiencing the movement of attention. It's a phenomenal appearance. You are watching. That's why I said, well, watch the attention. Come back to where it came from. I said, well, where did it come from? You said me awareness. Okay, well, the attention moved, but did you move? Have you ever moved?
No.
Exactly. You've never moved. Because what you are is non-phenomenal. So this is good. You're seeing it very clear. Now you see that you can't lose it. It's what you are. No one can take it from you. It's not dependent on anything. It's not a thing. It's not an activity. It's prior to all life circumstances. It's independent of all life circumstances. It's not found in the world.